So I wrote a poem this morning. I woke up first thing, usually every morning. I try and seek the Father or get into presence um, through breath work and meditation and find the proper operating system for my day, which is not my ego. My ego is not my amigo. The ego tends to be none of our amigos. And so the famous phrase in the Bible, seek first the Father and all else will be added on. Um, for the people that are into Christianity and the Bible, that's the way they frame it. I would say, I don't know, but probably Buddhists, I think, meditate in the morning. So it's that first morning thing. I think a lot of religious practices, sort of understand that when you first get up, it's important to sort of align your day and your mind with the direction you want to take it. The way I see it is we have these two operating systems sort of at war. It's the spiritual war within us. And the one operating system is presence or God, and that conduit of God's revelation and his wisdom, which is clearly a better way to operate our lives and our days out of. Or the panicky, conflict-ridden ego that has all these wild ideas and motivations and schemes and is sort of operating from a place of fear, really. And so if you just think about it like that, do I want to operate from fear or love? And every day, the sort of gauntlet is thrown down upon waking of like, which operating system are you aligning yourself with? Um, that's just my experience. But I wrote this little poem, seek him first, or maybe have a coffee and a zin, but then certainly seek him first. The gravitations of an unhinged mind are the dark ramblings of chaos and confusion. Unless we point our minds towards the direction of his peaceful light, we become effervescent in presence. We have a chance at the card game being played on the table of gratitude, and we can access our gifts through the willingness of his light. Praying for wisdom first thing to guide our steps from the day into the night. Left on our own without this act of surrender is like being a junkyard dog unchained at the legs of intruders, or becoming the devil's plaything twisted in knots by the distractions of life. We stand no chance in this spiritual war without the armor of God, and we can pretend not to see the field of principalities we are ensconced in. We can pretend we are only human dancing in a world only made of flesh and dirt. But consciousness is a haunted house with levels to escape into the kingdom of heaven. And our days are opportunities to transcend and align and surrender into grace and mercy. And our will seems to be not good for much, but for the ability to bend our awareness towards him, towards seeking him to carry us through. So yeah, that's basically, I don't know, that's kind of the work of life in my view lately. Just to align with him or align with presence. To me, I frame all these things in spiritual terms. To me, it is God. Consciousness is God. Presence is God. So I know the word God freaks a lot of people out, but that's just how I frame it. I view like this life as an opportunity to build a relationship with God or with presence, and then allow him to heal the traumas of the mind, which are just a natural response to being born and raised on this planet called Earth. Um, you know, everybody has damage. And so if we're operating from the sort of ego, if we get up first thing and start scrolling on our phone and start thinking about who said what and conflicts and getting into dramas and calling someone first thing and just getting it, like into the world. Or so we're supposed. What's the phrase? We're supposed to be uh, in the world, but not of the world. So it's like instead of becoming of the world first thing, you just want to be in the world and then of Him first thing, and then He praying for His wisdom and grace and mercy. It's just an incredible way to start the day. And then from there, like, the field of principalities are going to operate on us. Like it says in this poem about principalities are like a haunted house on the way to the kingdom of heaven. And first thing in the morning, we sort of have a more direct conduit to this so-called kingdom of heaven. But it also depends upon just our state of forgiveness of everyone in the world, because if we're housing tons of conflicts and resentments, then the mind is much more active and more difficult to sort of find that peace and to be forgiven. Also, if we don't forgive, then we can't be forgiven. So the story goes, and seems to be the case. So working on forgiveness in general, and then waking up and seeking first the Father, seeking presence. I usually do breath work first thing. I mean, like I said in the poem, I have a coffee and a zin. So it's not like I'm a holy roller. But then I will, maybe usually write a poem. I actually wrote that poem before I did my meditation. But then after that, I did, I think, 7 rounds of breath work. And I tapped into presence a little bit. And I prayed for wisdom. Because it's the act of the ego surrendering to the Father, basically, or your sort of identity and ego and suffering. It takes a knee and says, I need you. And that seems to be the sort of cornerstone of the whole spiritual battle. Like, are you willing to take a knee? But it's not you taking a knee, it's just your ego or this illusionary identity taking a knee. And the stronger that ego or illusionary identity is through the sort of fortress of resentment, the harder it is for it to take a knee. So the more you forgive, the more you surrender, the more you don't think it's right, the more you don't think it's God, the easier it is for it to then take a knee, and then for you to become sort of your real authentic self as a conduit of light to his graceful mercy. And so He then can give His light to us, and then or love, and then we can then give our love to the world or to the other people in our life, and we can be a peaceful conduit. And so that sort of, it seems to me, the framework of this spiritual battle that we are in, this battle of principalities. Our battle is not with flesh and blood, but with principalities, dark forces beyond this world. And they'll come knocking on our door every morning first thing, whereas God lays back in the cut and is like, yo, you gonna come and seek me? He's not knocking on the door in the same way. So it's for us to just bend our awareness. I don't know how much free will we have in general, but I think one area we do have some free will is where we bend our awareness and where we bend our prayers, or where we that part, I think we can sort of, it's like almost like being in an ocean, and we have to reach for the raft or the safety vessel, which is Him. And when we do that, then but we have to reach. I'm pretty sure he won't reach for us. I think this seems to be a testing ground on who's going to reach. And so let's reach and seek for presence, seek for the Father. And meditate first thing, the breath work, gratitude, a little prayer for wisdom, and it's a great way to start the day. So, God bless you. I hope you're amazing today. I hope you have an incredible day. This is my childhood home. This is the fireplace that was in my childhood home. Kind of a nice frame. Bye.